Alright then, so in the previous video we faced an issue, which is exactly because right now if I try to edit it and if I save it, what is exactly happening is it's because it's saving the data one more time in the MongoDB, which means every time when I save it, it's again and again saving the same data into the MongoDB. So in order to prevent that, what we need to do is all we have to do every time before saving the data, this attachment data, every time before saving this attachment, creating this attachment data, I need to figure it out whether the same URL which is inside this document or not. If we able to find out the same URL in the document, we just need to skip the um, we need to skip that insert operation. So that is what we have to do now. So let's go ahead and do that now. So here what we need to do is, so this is the place where we are creating that instance, right? So right before that creating instance, what we need to do is right after here, we need to check the attachment with the same URL already exists or not. So this is the place, check the attachment with the same URL is already exists or not. That is what we need to do, exist for this job ID. Okay, so what I'm going to do is const existing attachment is equals to await db dot attachment dot find first, open it where job, supply the job ID into it, then let's supply the URL into it. So from that attachment, if we able to find out that job ID with that specific URL, which means it is already existed. So if we have the existing attachment, is that a case? What we need to do is we need to skip the insertion. So consider what we need to do, skip the insertion. So let's simply add the continue over here. So that will skip the insertion. Oops, my bad. This is supposed to be closed over here. So what we can simply do is we can simply say the console.log. We can simply say with the attachment URL is already exist for this job ID. That will be console.log in the our server side. So then we need to create a new attachment over here, and then finally we can able to push that particular attachment back. So let's save these changes, and now if I edit it over here and if I click save now, it says job attachments updated, but still it remains the two data over here. It is not updating again and again and again the same data. Let's check it out over here. Let me click one more time, and if I click add file and if I choose any other file over here, if I click open, and now if I click save, there we go. See, that file has been successfully updated. Perfect. Okay, so now if I click open it one more time, save it, let's check it out. Still remains the same because that is already there. We should get that. See, job, that particular already exist, because 3 times it's trying to insert the same data, the same file URL is already there, so it will simply skips that data. Perfectly fine. All right, so now we need to fix the UI styles over here. So let's go here, go to the attachment form, and I'm gonna wrap this stuff. I'm gonna delete this boilerplate fragments, and I'm going to create one more empty division, and let's say class space y as 2 and paste it. So now we should able to see some space in between them over here. Perfect. Now for this delete action, what I need to do is we need to create an API in order to delete this. Okay, and inside here, like what we need to do is we need to remove this delete option. So let's go here, where it is, attachments. What we can do is mm, mm, mm. Okay, so now what we need to do is, so if we try to delete, because if you try to delete it from here, it is going to delete the data from the MongoDB, and as the same way we can delete the same data from where? From the Firebase storage also. But if you are here, if you are trying to delete it from here, it is going to delete the data only from where? From the Firebase storage. So instead of doing this, what we can do is we can recustomize this UI, and we can, once you got the attachments completely, we can push the user directly back to this. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, let's get back to the attachments uploads over here, the attachments uploads. So if we have the values over here, what we are doing, we are simply displaying the data, right? So what I can do is, I don't need this anything. I can simply ignore this, delete it, save it. Okay, so now what we can do is, we can simply say over here, this should be in the center, save it. Now here, okay, so once you start uploading all those things, that is going to give you the list of progress bar and everything. So what we can do is, I'm gonna fix the height as 24 or something, and bg, it's going to be purple 100, save it, something like this. Okay, and flex item center, justify center, if you wish to keep it a little bit bigger also, we can keep it 40, height 40, something like this. Okay, so now if you click it inside over here, so this label should be class name, width full, height full, something like this, and flex item center, justify center, something like this. Okay, so now if you click over here, that is going to trigger this button. Okay, so here now, instead of here displaying that, let's get back over here. So in this point, at this point, we don't need this on delete function at all, because we need this. Okay, so we don't need this. Okay, so let's delete it. We don't need this on delete at all, and we don't need this on remove also. Let's delete that from here, and let's delete that thing from where also? From over here also. And let's get back to the attachments form. We don't need this on remove over here. And here, if we got the attachments, instead of updating like this, if I have the attachments, then I can directly call the on submit event, and I can send the object as attachments as an object, save the changes, and here also save these changes. Now if everything is working perfectly fine, look at the, if I click this, that is going to select the multiple files. Let's check it out. Already what we have this thing. Now if I click this, if I click the job portal 1 and 2, if I click open, it is uploaded 1, and it's uploaded the 2 also, and there we go, it's showing the job attachments updated, and you can see the latest file is over here. And if you check it out over here, the file will be attached over here, and the MongoDB is also being updated over here. Okay, so now if the user wants to delete it, he can delete it from here. He can delete the same thing from our MongoDB, and as well as the file will be removed from our from the Firebase storage also. Okay, so that's the reason I just updated the UI. In a single click, we can do the same actions instead of keeping it in two different ways. So if you're trying to keep it in a two different ways, it somehow is mismatching the logic whatever we are trying to do. So, okay, so I know that this is a lot of confusion in the job attachments, because since it's a multiple file uploads and we need to make it more responsive and it should work according with the TypeScript, it's a lot of thing to think about it, guys. And because we changed completely from the upload thing into the Firebase storage, and this will work smoothly because all these components are completely created by the ground. Okay, so now let's get back into the app API, jobs, job ID, attachments. Inside here, now what we need to do, let's create a new one, and let's say attachment id, and here I'm going to create one more file called route.ts because this is to delete that particular data. Okay, so let's go ahead, and inside here now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, this is the inside the attachment id, right? So what we are going to do is, so let's get into the job id. This is the job id, right? So attachments, minimize these things. This is the job id. So I'm going to copy all these things from the job id route.ts and get into the attachment id route.ts and then paste it over here. Instead of this patch work, this is going to be the delete work. Oops, delete spelling is wrong. D-E-L-E-T, delete. Okay, and we are going to get the job id, and as exactly the same way we are going to get the attachment id too. So let's get the attachment id from where? From here. So copy this attachment id and resupply that attachment id over here. Perfect. And over here I'm gonna get the attachment id also. Perfect. Instead of this. Okay, and now I'm gonna simply delete all these things. Don't worry, we can redo all those stuffs over there. Okay, so now if we don't have the user id and all those things, what we need to do from here, what I'm going to do, if I don't have any of these things, I'm gonna simply send it out. Where it is, attachments, oh come on, here it is, paste it. If I don't have user id or a job id, we need to send it. And now we need to find out okay, so here over here now we need to figure out that attachment first. So const attachment is equals to await db dot attachment dot first, find first, or what we can say, find unique, open it, because we have the attachment id, right? So where id, which is equals to the attachment id, so we can find that attachment. So if we can't find that attachment, if not attachment or the attachment, so if we don't have the attachment, yes, then what we need to do, we need to simply say attachment not found, return the JSON response as attachment not found. If it says so, which means we have the data, so we need to delete the data from where? From the Firebase storage. So const storage reference is equals to reference that storage, get the storage from the Firebase config, and we need to get the reference from where? It's the same file store. And here we need to supply the attachment dot url. Let's supply that attachment dot url. Okay, then here we need to say await delete object from Firebase storage, supply that storage reference in it, that's going to delete the data. Okay, so we need to make sure one more thing over here, or if not the attachment, sorry, if the attachment dot job id not equals to params dot job id. So if there is no attachment itself, we need to return it. If that attachment dot job id, which is not equals to this particular job id, we should not delete any attachments, so we need to return it. Okay, so right after here I'm going to delete the data from MongoDB. So we can do the delete operation in the same place. That's the reason we just customize it. db.attachment, we can delete the data where id, which is going to be the attachment id, just like that. And once you deleted the data, we can simply return the JSON next response as what? Attachment deleted successfully, finished. And now let's get into the attachments, where it is, attachments form area. So this is the place where we are displaying the data, right? This is the place. And on click, what we are going to do, we need to map this function to what? To on delete action. So when you are trying to delete it, so this is the place. So I'm going to create a new function called on delete, and I'm going to send, on delete, open the bracket, and this is the place where we are sending the item itself. So let's go ahead and create a new function over here, const on delete function, which is going to be a callback function itself. Okay, so that on delete function, it's going to be getting an attachment, right, which is the type of the attachment itself. Perfect. Now we don't have any issues at all. So inside here, now what I'm going to do, try open it. So we just going to say delete it. We are going to delete the data, right? um mm, 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 mm. So if you are trying to delete this particular data, what we need to do, we need to display some loading animation. So in order to trigger that, get that, we need to get the loading ID. So then only we can show that loading animation over that particular section itself. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new state over here, is equals to use state snippet. So here deleting ID, which is going to be null. So if it does have the ID, it will carry the string. So we can say either it can be string or it can be null, these two data. Okay, so let's get back to here. So over here, the place where we are displaying that delete button, this is the place, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out. So here, if the deleting ID is equals to this attachment, sorry, equal to the item dot id, then what I need to do, I need to render a division with the class, or let me print that button. Let me see what style that we do have. Okay, this is the style. If it is equals to that, I'm going to bring a button and I'm going to remove this on click event. Okay, and I'm going to keep it exactly everything as it is. Inside here, now I'm going to bring the loader 2 icon, which is going to be class name, height, of course it's going to be 4, width, of course it's going to be 4, and animate, of course it's going to be spin, right? So if that deleting id not equals to the item dot id, then at that point what we need to do, we need to display this button to delete. We are getting some error. Why this error is happening? So this is not necessary. Still we are getting the error. From where we are getting this error? Okay, we are getting error from somewhere. Yep, I think we are getting the error from the on delete. Okay, so here this issue might be resolved. Okay, so okay, come on, that is some mistake in the UI. Yep, here we go. So let me cut it out, this one. And this is not supposed to be here. This is supposed to be closed here, and it should be pasted inside here. There we go. Now we should not see that. Okay, so we fixed that issue now, and right inside here in this on delete. Okay, so here now what I'm going to do is inside, whenever I'm trying to delete it, I'm going to open the try and catch, and if there is any catch error is happening, I'm just going to print it, and I'm then going to say that issue. And here I'm just going to say set deleting id, which is going to be that particular attachment dot id. Perfect. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the API. So await axios dot delete. open it. And here now what we are going to say is slash API slash jobs. We can simply copy it from here, copy it, paste it. We will get the job ID, and right after here dollar slash attachment dot id. Oops, not id, attachment dot id. So that is going to delete that. So this should be an asynchronous function. Now you will not get that error over there. Okay, so this is going to delete that. Once it successfully delete that, we are just going to say toast dot success, open it. Let's say attachment removed, save the changes, and we need to refresh the router. So router dot refresh, open it. Now if everything is working perfectly, I should able to delete this, and you should see the loading animation, and you should get that attachment removed, and you should be seeing only 4 data over here. We don't have the job portal 2 here, and we should not see the job portal 2 here. If I refresh this, there we go. See, now if I delete this, that will be deleted. Delete this, delete this, delete this. So now we should not see anything over here. Attachments are nothing, and if I click over here also, we should not see anything, literally empty. And if I get back to here, and if I choose files, what are the attachment files? For instance, let's say I want to attach this particular PDF file, and if I click open it, it is going to upload that PDF file, and once it's been uploaded, it is going to be pushed back. There we go. It's taking some time. I don't know why it is taking some time. What if I refresh this? That is not possible. How come it is possible? What? Again? This is not even possible. How come all these data get back over here? Wait a minute. Let's try this one more time, guys. Let me delete this. Let me delete all these data. Delete, delete, delete. Delete it. And over here, if I check it out, it's only one data is there. Let me delete this one also. Delete it, delete it. So literally everything is empty. Let me refresh it. Refresh it. We don't have anything to display over here. Now if I choose this, if I upload this file, open it, it has been uploaded and it has been still loading. Okay, now it's saying job attachments uploaded. There we go. See? Oh my goodness. I think because of the cache memory, it is loading that. Now once you refresh it, it is not doing that thing. Now if I want to add one more file, click it, and if I choose Instagram post, this one, and if I try to save it, and there we go. Look at that. So that's working perfectly fine, right? Cool. So we successfully finished the attachments, which is working perfectly. And now all we have to do is to get back and finish the rest of the stuffs, which is nothing but finishing this, publishing the job application. And that is what we have to do next.